Now I got a couple things that have been normalized. Women bitching about their husbands on the internet. So this woman gets divorced after shaming her husband online. So she decided,
yeah, I know.
She decided, I want to vent to the internet, and she messed around and found out.
I can leave because trust me, I am leaving. But people can't just walk out and leave one day when you have kids and 12 years of life wrapped up together. You gotta have a plan. You can't just walk away with nothing. You have to have a plan.
I'm just gonna make a little update video because people have been asking. My husband left the night that I posted that original video.
But things changed drastically and I'm feeling less than positive today. I am exhausted and I'm just tired.
Hello guys, welcome to this episode. Today we will review a woman who got divorced by her husband for airing her private family matters on TikTok for her followers. The husband saw the video and left her for good. When people are sharing about their marriages on TikTok and are getting support for their atrocious behavior, you know society has gone insane. It's usually best to avoid dating anyone who spends that much time sharing their personal life over social media. Kindly help us grow by hitting the like button and subscribing. Let's get started.
So today is my 3-year wedding anniversary, and I can without a doubt say that this has been hands down the most depressing, miserable, horrible 3 years of my life. I have literally never been so depressed. I've never hated another person more than I hate the person that I married. Well, I run my ass off and I do everything for everybody in my life, like me, my kids, him. He goes to work and works enough. That's it. He works. Yeah, his job's hard. Yeah, his hours suck.
Martini says, love you from a twink. Thank you.
But he works. That is all he does.
Her husband works diligently to provide her with a comfortable life and protect her from the daily stresses that come with it, yet she often finds reasons to complain. Staying at home to take care of the kids is surprisingly easy. Preparing meals, doing a bit of laundry, and putting away dishes only take about 2 hours a day, and there's no commute to worry about. Let's say she goes grocery shopping once a week, and the rest of the day is spent enjoying time with the kids, which is more fun than challenging. However, it seems they always manage to express that life is tough, even when it's far from it. Let's continue.
I tried taking care of myself and went on a walk, but when I started realizing I hadn't heard from him, I'm calling and calling and calling and begging for the bare minimum of him to watch our daughter. Excuse my language. I'm just so upset. To watch our daughter, to cut up a watermelon, and to make dinner. I am 30 years old and I'm literally begging for the bare minimum every single day. I am a married single mom. That's what I am. Yeah, I don't work.
Why do you guys are married and calling yourself single mothers? Oh my God.
But the amount of weight I carry, I can tell you right now, the reason women...
I can see she does carry some weight. It's time to get on the treadmill, Chica. I see that double chin coming in.
Stay in shit relationships is one, because they don't have the means to leave financially, like a house. Two, the idea of a family. I can tell you why I've stayed. Money. It's that simple. I wanted to be a stay-at-home mom. He used to want me to be a stay-at-home mom. Now he just doesn't care because he doesn't care about anything.
She expects her husband to work hard to provide for the family, but at the same time, she wants him to take on the responsibilities of a stay-at-home dad. If he struggles to earn enough money, she will probably criticize him for being broke and not a good husband.
She needs to buy a mirror before she endangers her marriage.
He puts an extra effort to bring in more income so that she can stay home and ensure their family's financial security. She still complains that he's not around enough to help with household chores. How hard is being a stay-at-home parent compared to a regular job? This comment says, I can speak personally on both sides of this. I used to be the only provider and used to bring home the only paycheck. My wife used to complain about the kids even though when I got home I would help with them. Now she works and I help with the kids while working part-time, and now she complains I don't provide enough. I was a stay-at-home dad for about 6 months when I was laid off. My daughter was an infant. It was stupidly easy. I scheduled a multi-task.
I've heard this from so many guys where they thought that watching the kids was so hard. And then they did it and they're like, this is easy. What are they complaining about?
Past my days, I got all the stuff done and had free time where I could watch multiple hours of TV. Women are either lying about what they do for sympathy or they straight up suck at it. Took all the kids to school, cleaned the whole house in a couple of hours, picked up some groceries, and played video games or took a nap until picking up the kids in the afternoon. Feed them a snack, then dinner, and the rest is easy. Those couple of months were really an eye-opening experience because it was not hard at all.
And yeah, I know I can leave because trust me, I am leaving. But people can't just walk out and leave one day when you have kids and 12 years.
Did she not think her husband would see this?
Of life wrapped up together. You gotta have a plan. You can't just walk away with nothing. You have to have a plan. I mean, I'm trying so hard not to be bitter, but like, I've just never disliked somebody so much that I should love, that I just don't. In sickness and health, better or worse, like, no. Like, so destroy myself and my kids to keep a vow?
Thank you, Olive. Just supporting.
The irony is, once she gets that divorce, she gets to go back into the workforce, do an 8 to 12-hour shift, come home, and do the exact same thing she is complaining about. Make it make sense. Marriage these days is just nothing more but a bunch of burdens, financial
saved this for a therapist. Yikes.
hardship, mental strain, headaches, lack of
hit that like button, guys. There's 800 in here. We should have at least 600 likes.
Empathy for
it's free.
Men in general, and a huge liability. In the comment section of her video, she got a lot of support from the women. Here are a few. The first comment says, manage the money in the household. Give him a cash allowance.
The women's advice. Do you see how tough it is as a woman? Now, I know what you guys are thinking, right? You're thinking, Pearl, she just told, what do you mean it's tough as a woman? It's tough as a man. Well, yeah, obviously. But women, it's like, we go to each other and it's like the blind leading the blind, right? This woman is advising her, like, she'll go, now this is a bad example, but you'll go to a woman to like console about your problems, right? And so you'll go and you'll be like, and then the woman will be like, leave him, go fuck his best friend. Give him an allowance. It's like, yeah, you gotta go. And then it's like some of these women don't have dads. And then, do you know what's even worse? They like back each other up and then it just gets worse.
Allowance. Other than that, pretend he doesn't exist. Do for only you and the kids. Don't expect or ask him to do anything. Lawyer up and make a plan. When he started talking about having kids, I got a dog instead. He wouldn't help take care of it. He'd let the puppy soil itself right next to him in the living room and not clean it up.
Okay, but that means you also let the puppy soil itself in the living room. You guys just seem like a dirty couple.
And so fast.
What you just said is one of the most insanely idiotic things I have ever heard.
It's better to admit you went through the wrong door than to spend your whole life in the wrong room, says the Shakespeare from Temu. If he doesn't check the bank account, start taking money and stash it away. He will never know. Think of it as paying yourself.
What the F is this chick stressed? All she had to do was make a couple of sandwiches and walk the kids. She's no hero. There are no housewives in foxholes.
For being a maid, chauffeur, cook, or accountant. The biggest red flag is that she's making this all public and then letting these idiots on TikTok determine how she's going to handle it rather than thinking for herself and having some respect for the relationship and her spouse. Well, the guy did the Lord's work and dealt with her like he should. Let's have a look.
I'm just going to make a little update video because people have been asking. Ignore my stuffy voice. I have like some kind of cold going on, like a head cold. But my husband left the night that I posted that original video. I can't remember the timeline. He had stayed here twice. One night that I was here because it was just late. And then another night why I didn't stay here. Other than that, he's been gone. I think he was here like during the day once or twice while I wasn't here. He needs to get his stuff still. He hasn't did that.
One of the saddest aspects of this entire
yes, roulette wheel. My channel is monetized. Thank you for the super chat.
Expedition is that after she finished sharing about her family, no one seemed to care and simply moved on with their lives. She now has to confront the reality of her actions and the part she played. Imagine having enough free time to go online and complain about your spouse while every single thing in your life is taken care of by that same person. One of the most important rules for a relationship is not to publicly air your issues. You should get counseling or have a private and confidential third party to handle issues. You should never talk poorly about your spouse and your relationship with others if you haven't.
Okay. Yeah. Now we got another one. A woman saying she wasn't attracted to her husband.
So the creator getting
men and women, we both lie. Can we just, I'm going to be honest with you guys in the chat. Men lie and women lie. Now, how do men lie? Now, what men will do is they'll go for the hottest woman that they can get, right? So they'll go in high school, they'll say, let me go for that hot woman. And then they'll get brutally rejected, right? And they're like, okay, that didn't work. And then, so then they go a little lower. They go for the second hottest woman, right? And then they're like, they get brutally rejected, or maybe they get like, they simp for her, right? And so they simp, maybe they get a brutal marriage or whatever. And it just doesn't work out. And that doesn't work. And ladies, he's with you because you're the best that he could do. And usually, it kind of goes like this. You know a guy's ready to settle down when he goes like 1 or 2 notches uglier than he normally goes, right? So like he'll bang an 8, he'll bang a 9, and then like they obviously like it's just a one-time thing because the 9 is like I'm gonna go do better, and so then they get like a 6 and they're like good enough, or a 5 and they're like good enough, but they don't tell us that, right? They're not gonna say, look, my ex was way better in bed, or my ex is just like, she was way hotter than you, but you're nicer to me, so good enough. You know, they're not now, there's exceptions to this rule. I mean, some men do marry the hottest woman they've ever been with, but like, that's not the rule. Like, let's just be honest. Now, Brandon Daniels, I'll look at your thing, Doug. Now, the way women lie is, you know, women kind of go through the same thing, right? Women go for hotter and hotter and hotter, and that's how they get alpha widowed. The difference is men can be like content. So they're like, when they say good enough, they mean it, right? So when they find a mid that's nice to them and like cooks them a meal now and then, they're actually content. They actually mean it. Where the women, you know, they really don't mean it. And so, but the difference is the men like keep it to themselves. They know to lie. They'll say, you're the most beautiful woman in the world. You're so special. I always knew it was you. Liars. You were just the woman that said yes, was easy enough and nice enough. But they're not going to say that, right? The women, now some guys, you know, it's just not like immediate for us. Like we do become attracted to, but it takes time. But men don't want to know that, right? They want to be the guy that you said no to him, and him. But him, you let raw dog on the first date after a cheeseburger for $1.50 in the alleyway. Do you know how much of a legend they would be to their friend group if all of their friend group hit on this said chick? She said, no, not you, not you, not you, not you. And then him, you're like, you gave no rules for. He's going to be a legend. So what they do is the women will say, I wasn't attracted to him, which we all know what that means. And men will accept this, right? They'll be like, do you know what? Maybe she wasn't attracted to me at first, but like, I did like her, and you know, she's a good mom, and she's a good person. Whatever, it's fine. I'll get over it. But now they're bragging about it. They're bragging. Oh wait, hold on.
To the creator that's getting dragged on here for not being attracted to her husband when they first met. Same, me too. Seriously, I totally get where you're coming from, and I'll just tell you how we met real quick. Basically, I had been out of prison for like a year, and I saw him, like I met him through some mutual friends. And
apparently Tim Pool responded to my tweets. Can we guess, is he going to have simped or not simped? Whose side is he going to be on? We already know.
Like,
but maybe he'll surprise me.
He's like kind of cute, but he was like, I'm tall and he's tall, but he's like really tall, and he was like super skinny at the time and awkward and just super like not a whole lot of social skills. He's also a country boy, grew up farming, tractors, all that. He could like fix anything. But yeah, he's just really awkward and strange, and I was like this is never gonna work. Like, also, he was a corrections officer at the time, like, which is really weird because I had already been out of prison for like a year. So, yeah, basically, we're just like complete opposites. And I don't know, it took about like 9 months for us to actually like date after we had like seen each other like in groups, you know, groups of friends a couple times. And then finally I was like, okay, like, I'll give it a shot, I guess. And when I like did, he like didn't even know I existed. Like, I was nowhere on his radar. He was completely like oblivious that I was even like.
Joel, thank you for the super chat. Just showing support. Going back to the Audacity chat now. Thank you, Joel.
Thinking about anything like that, right? So yeah, I get it. Like, I just wasn't like, he was awkward. I don't know how else to explain it. And I was like this, you know.
He got friend zoned by a felon. Can you imagine, guys? What an L. And not only that, she's bragging about this L.
I don't know. Coming out of prison, I was just coming from the streets to prison and then coming home and then meeting him like a year later. I was like, no, this is just definitely not going to work. But it did, and we've been together for almost 8 years now.
Okay, now this is the practical advice women give each other behind the scenes, right? Go to your friend zone, give the guys a shot. You might actually have a good marriage that comes out of it. Here's the practical advice men give each other behind the scenes. Look, I know she's hot, but you might want to get a less good-looking girl so they don't have as much of an ego. Now the mids are starting to get ego. It's over.